Hey everyone, it's Bob with Cinephellas coming to you video-wise instead of just audio-wise. Today I'm sharing my interview with David Sullivan about his movie Monuments. It's on VOD right now. We talk about the city of Chicago, his role in one of my favorite movies of all time, Primer. We also talk about the chemistry he had on set and what a great writer Jack Newell is. Please give a watch and let me know what you think. I have to say before I talk about the current movie, I can't believe I'm talking to Abe. I am such a huge
I
I'm
love that.
I'm
It's
such a
fun.
huge Primer fan. I even had to print out various timelines from online so I could keep up with it. My
Oh,
buddies and I
cool.
watched it so much when it first came out. It's
Oh, cool.
ridiculous. So
Oh
when I
man,
got
that's
the
awesome. Well, you should hit me up after this and we can have a discussion about it because it's always enjoyable for me to for people to find me who've seen that movie because that was my first time to act and I loved that movie and I love that people are starting to I mean now people are seeing it for the first time and they think it's great. So I love that it has longevity and I hope that all my work continues to have longevity.
Oh yeah, I my buddy gave it to me on DVD one time, and I'm like, all right, I love time travel stuff. I like that, and it blew my mind. People talked about butterfly effect, and I just throw Primer at them. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, you want a real time travel movie? Get this.
exactly.
Awesome.
Like I used to sit on a couch and just stare at it. Like it was really odd. So
Cool.
when they're like, "Oh, you're going to talk to David Sullivan," I was like, "Oh my god!" I freaked out.
Oh,
I was so excited.
oh, cool. I love that, Bob. Yeah, you hit me up after this, and we'll have a long discussion about it.
Absolutely, dude. You have no idea. That would be amazing.
Of
But
course.
so I have to say real quick, I'm a Chicago guy. So you filming at the Field Museum, it's funny. I actually spent the night there as a Boy Scout. So when you showed like where the Egyptian stuff was, we literally walked around down there. And it was one of the coolest experiences. So to see that, I was like, oh my God, it hasn't been so long since someone showed some love to the Field Museum.
Wow. Well, I think probably the film museum doesn't really allow many people to shoot in there. I mean, there's such a huge liability, but our producers I for sure thought I was like, well, we're not actually going to shoot in there, and it's like, yeah, we're shooting in there, and we're shooting right next to this, 10,000-year-old dinosaur, and I'm like, what if I fall, you know? But yeah, it was amazing. It was an amazing introduction to Chicago because I'd never really spent any time there, and we shot in the museum like really early on in production, and it was just so moving.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. So when I like I said, when I saw you guys there, I was like, oh, that is like I have a big smile on my face about it, especially when you're like, we got to go to Chicago. I was like, all right, come on home.
Cool, cool.
So obviously I said I'm a fan of Primer and everything like this. This seemed like this was a little this role was a little out of your not comfort zone, I shouldn't say, out of the norm for you. This was the first time I've saw some like real good comedic timing and just overall like you holding the brunt of an entire movie on your shoulders. Did you do
Yeah.
how did this role call to you?
It felt good, man. I mean, as an actor, we welcome these challenges, and I really look forward to opportunities to tell these stories, and you're very fortunate to be able to be the lead of a movie, and I took it on as a challenge, and I wanted to make certain that I had a good work ethic and I had a good attitude and I had a good presence because oftentimes, the people at the top, if they're not good leaders or if they're not a good presence, then it can kind of sink the film. And anytime you do independent film, you can't be the reason why the movie doesn't work. And so I wanted to make sure that I was open and prepared and just kind of ready for whatever was being thrown at me. And that's, I mean, when you have a good team around you, Jack put together such a great crew and such a great cast that I knew that even if I sucked one day, that the people around me could kind of pick me up. So I felt like I could do no wrong.
No, you did a lot right in there. So taking on this role and playing a person who lost their loved one at such an early age and unexpectedly and stuff like that, you hit so many notes. I actually have two friends who have lost their spouse at an early age.
Hmm.
And so for you to go through that grief the way you did, was there any research you did, or did you just play it as if I was in this situation?
Yeah, the latter. I mean, I had lost people who were close to me, and that's unfortunately part of life. It's going to happen to everybody. You're going to lose somebody who's close to you, and I chose not to really, when it was happening, I chose not to slip into the grief because I thought that I had to be strong for my family. And so I don't even know if I did it properly. I don't know if I did it enough. I don't know if I grieved enough. I don't know if I cried, enough days or too many days. I think grief is something different for each person. So I don't know. I think like any project that I'm fortunate enough to be a part of, I just try to be honest in the circumstances that the writer has created for me. And if for some reason, where I'm at isn't working, then I trust them to tell me. And my ego is out of it by then because I already got the job. So I have no ego attached to it at all. It's like, okay, if you think I should do it like that, like let's do it. So yeah, I was really fortunate to have, the opportunity to tell a story that I wasn't necessarily comfortable with, but again, I knew that I had smarter people around me who would make sure I didn't I didn't screw it up too bad.
I mean, just the amount of not delusion, but the fact of being out of your mind during it and saying, no, 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 I got this, and just being it really felt genuine. Plus the chemistry on set and the way did that chemistry knock off right away? Like it looked
100%.
like you guys had been together forever.
100%. I mean, I was able to meet Marguerite, not long before we started shooting, but maybe a day or two, and we just really connected. She's so smart and she's so lovely and she's so seasoned and she's so curious and she's so malleable and playful that I was just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna default to you. Like if I feel like this scene's supposed to be this way and you feel like this scene's supposed to be this way, then I'm gonna think that you know what you're doing more than I know what I'm doing. And it's funny because like there were multiple scenes. I mean, probably more than 4 or 5 where we had completely different takes. Like there would be scenes where we would play it obnoxiously like crazy, and then there were scenes where we would be really grounded and on the verge of tears. So I'm grateful that I was able to have a director who knew exactly the story that he wanted to tell, but also left room for playfulness and spontaneity and a set that allowed us to kind of discover some things on the day.
Now, like you said, Primer was your first role and your first audition, everything like that. How did that going for that differ from you trying for this role? Like, how was there a more confidence, the fact that you had already
No,
had
I mean
jobs, or
that's the thing. I think when I'm introduced to a story, I've pretty much convinced myself by the time that I go out for it that, oh, nobody can do this the way I'm going to do it. I wouldn't say that I'm better or I'm the best choice or whatever or the worst choice. I would just I've kind of accepted the fact that I'm the only version of me. I'm the best version of me, and if they want a version of me, then I'm the right person for it. So yeah, when I went out for Primer, I was just like, well, I've never acted before or taken an acting class, but I know that I want to be in a movie, and I know that like I'm good at it. I did a play in high school, and so in my mind I was like, all right, well, I'm the best person. I'm the best. If you're looking for me, then I'm the best version of me. So yeah, I with Primer, I didn't expect to get it, and even after I got it, I didn't expect anybody to see it except maybe my family. And then when I got the role of Ted, it was just another thing where I was like, all right, now it's time to kind of live in Ted's shoes for a little bit.
now working with Jack Newell, who another Chicago guy, the heart of Second City, which was awesome. I watched 42 Grams. What was he like to work with? Because like I said, saw 42 Grams, and the man seems like, I don't want to say visionary because I feel like it's overused, but like he's a genius when it comes to it. Like he played it so well, and with this, I thought it was great. What was it like to interact with him?
Amazing. I mean, he's extremely smart, and a lot of times when people are extremely smart, at least in my experience, they're kind of hard to connect to because they connect more to ideas and they connect more to like things that aren't easily understood or aren't easily communicated. But like Jack just had this amazing way of communicating and this amazing way of making me and us feel like we could do no wrong. I mean, our first face-to-face meeting, we were in a dance class, and when I read the script, I didn't really see, I didn't know that whole dance scene was going to be a whole song. In my mind, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a little montage. We're going to do a few steps and then we're going to move on. No, the first thing I had to do was go to dance class, and I'm like, oh no, I'm the wrong person for this movie. The movie's going to be ruined because I don't know how to do this type of dancing. That, but again, he just had like this playful, playful sense to him, and made us just feel like, you know, we could do this. And that confidence that he had in us. Anytime a smart person has confidence in me, I immediately have more confidence in myself. So I'm like, oh wait, you're smart and you think that I'm okay, cool. I'm going to go with you. So yeah, it felt good. It felt really good having him and being able to communicate with him whenever I needed to.
And it's funny because the dance sequence into going in, what I felt set the tone for the movie, because there was humor, but at the same time you were sort of breaking in character. You're sort of breaking, you know, like, is this madness? Is this not? And plus, I've known that song since I was a kid, thanks to Dr. Demento. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but he based out of I can't remember where, but
that was my first time hearing that song, and I'm like, I don't know this song, and I have to learn all of this to a song I don't even know. And then I learned that there's all these backup dancers who were training at the dance school. Like, I had no idea that it was going to be this whole thing, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm in trouble. But yeah, once it was time to shoot, we were all ready to go. We didn't do very many takes. We got it pretty quickly. And again, like, I think that confidence that, you know, everybody had in us, just set us up to be successful at it.
Now, I got to add, with your long resume and everything like that, is there any new projects coming up that you're excited about, or what's the
I just wrapped the second season of The Wilds on Amazon Prime. The first season's already out. The second season will probably come out early next year. And I have two films that are one is finishing up its festival run. It's called Small Town Wisconsin. I think we're closing out the festival at the Phoenix International Festival at the end of the month, and then another film is gonna start up early next year, kind of going the festival route. It's called The Big Bend.
All right, I'm writing these down so I could check it out. Like I said,
Bob. Yeah, I want you to see these movies, and I'd love to chat with you about those as well.
Dude, believe me, like I said, my wife, you know, she's not a big movie fan. I was like, I get to talk to Abram Primer, and she just stared at me. I'm like, never mind, you know, she's just an 80s.
That was before you.
Exactly. If I met someone from the movie Mannequin or something, all over it. Any kind of 80s movie, all over it. But I was like, oh, it's time travel. And then I'm slowly going, you know what? Yeah, never mind. This is I got her with it. The movie has Connie from the Mighty Ducks, who obviously was fantastic, and you know. But okay, so you shot in Chicago. Is there anything that happened in Chicago that really stuck with you? Is there one part of that beautiful city that will always have an impact with you?
Well, I saw Hamilton in Chicago with the guy who played Hamilton. That was pretty remarkable. And when Javier and I went, there were a couple people who came up to me, was like, hey, can we get a picture? And you know, you've heard this joke before, but Javier was like, oh yeah, sure. And they hand him the camera. And he's like, oh, all right. And he was taking pictures and I was taking pictures of him, taking pictures of these other people, because they had no idea that. And we got him to sing Hamilton in like more than one dive bar outside of Chicago. It was amazing. That, and like also living in the Field Museum for the, you know, for the time that we were shooting, like it was amazing. We probably slept in the same place. If you slept overnight there somewhere, I was, you know, down in the bottom levels in one of the rooms back there. Like, I think shooting the field, like being around Javi, and just kind of learning Chicago and all the great restaurants in and around Chicago. Yeah, it was so cool. I would love to go back to Chicago.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you come back, you got to go Gene and Jude's.
Okay.
It's a hot dog joint. It's the best. Or you could go to the Wiener Circle, that's famous for the most rude employees in the world. Jack Breyer and Triumph the Insult Comic Dog did a special from there, and I was down there, and it was fantastic.
Amazing.
But all right, well, I'm gonna have to check out The Wild. In small town Wisconsin. It's funny. You're going from Chicago to Wisconsin there. That's pretty great.
Yeah. It was fun. I got to spend about a little over a month in just outside Milwaukee.
You gotta love it. Now, any funny stories you want to tell me from the set? Like I said, it looks like you had a lot of a lot of fun on there. Like that dance sequence again was great. Was there any other thing that really kind of struck up with you?
Just becoming really close to the cast and crew. I mean, a lot of times when you're doing an indie movie, you everybody has to be on the same page and everybody has to love what they do. And when you're on location specifically, you're in a town typically where a lot of people aren't familiar with the town. And so just being, in these locations, in these small towns, surrounded by the cast and the crew, it's just that's kind of where you build your memories.
Well, I tell you, if you're ever in a convention around Chicagoland, I'm always out and about on those. I had a comic shop, so I'm familiar with all those things. If you ever come out here, I'll make sure I'll take you out for one of those hot dogs. I'm telling you, it'll change your life.
That's great. Yeah, keep in touch with me, Bob. I appreciate it, man.
I'll reach out for Primer. I get to humble brag to a couple buddies tonight.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Please do.
Well, thank you so much. I'll let you go. I know you probably have thousands of people lined up who love this movie.
Thank you.
So, David, thank you so much for your time. And I'll definitely tweet out about this and about your future projects. And I'm reaching out about Primer.
I love it. Thanks, Bob.
All right. Thank you so much, Judy. Thank you very much. You guys have a good rest of your day.
All right. You too.
I mean, what else can you say? The man is great. The movie was really good. And make sure to check it out. Again, that's Monuments on VOD right now. Give that a look. And you know what? While you're at it, watch Primer. I'm telling you, just unappreciated to the fullest extent. Again, I'm Bob with Cinephellas. Cheers.